In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to peyote stitch. So, you'll get something that kind of looks like this, or you can do it with smaller beads, like my ring looks like this. Alright, so the first thing that you want to do is count out how many beads you need for your wrist. Usually I do 28. I can fit into 26, but it's a little tighter, so I don't really like it. So I do 28. So you take 28 beads and put them on your string. And since I'm going to be doing a rainbow pattern like this, I'm going to do 2 white ones and then 1 of each of those colors. Then 2 whites and 1 pink and orange. All the way around. So that'll start my And I also, when I'm doing a single, when you start, because you have to do a single to start this, I like to leave the string attached to the spool just until I get done counting out all the beads to make sure I didn't cut it too short or anything. This seems a lot easier for me that way. Just about there. Orange, okay. So, we have one that kind of looks like that. I cut the end off and tie it together, just like a single. And some people, when peyote stitching, they don't actually cut the string. They just cut a really long string to begin with, and they just keep threading the strings through. But I found that cutting the string each time makes sure they stay tighter. It is a little bit more work, but the bracelets are always tighter. I think that's a little bit better. Okay, so you have this one. Now we're going to start with the next row. So what you're going to do is take a string and measure it around your single and cut it a little bit longer. I mean, not way long, just a little bit. Okay, and then it doesn't really matter where you start. I obviously have to start at a certain area because I'm doing a pattern. But if you're not doing a pattern and you just start anywhere, you just pick a bead and you put the string through, so it's through one bead, and then you're going to put a bead on the string and then skip one bead and then put it through the next. So it's like this. Okay, and then you just pull the string through, but not too far so that the other end doesn't come out. And then you do the next. You just take a bead, put it through, skip one, put it through. Oh, if it wants to go through. Yep. And you just keep doing that all the way around until you get to the other side. Which I'll finish this one to show you. It's not too bad. I mean, once you get the hang of it, it's really not too bad. Seems a little difficult at first, but I mean, probably the hardest part is going to be this very first row. Once you get this row done, then, oh, that's not supposed to be yellow. That's supposed to be white. Yeah, once you get this first row done and get it all tied off, then it gets easier. This is weird at first because you actually have to go through and pick out each bead. As you can see, I'm already having problems with that. You have to like pull the beads out, put the string through, pull it back through. But once this row is tied off, the beads just kind of set out for you. So you don't have to do that anymore. And one more thing you need to know is you always need to keep these pulled tight. Once you get towards the end, you have some string, pull them tight. because if you don't, then they just sit funny the whole entire time. It's not cool. Alright, so once you get to the end bead, you put it on the string. Doesn't really matter which string. I like to do the one that's longer. Doesn't really matter. You put it on the string and then you just tie the strings together. Make sure it's tight. That's really important when you do peyote stitch like this. You have to make sure it's tight. If you don't, then it's just like loose, it falls apart, it doesn't look very good when you're done. It just looks like a floppy mess kind of. So no matter what, keep it tight. Then I cut off the string, and then there I have the second row. Now I do the very same thing. I just grab the string and measure me around it and just cut a little bit more than what it is, and then I just start. Like I said before, it doesn't really matter where you start. I mean, if you're doing a pattern, obviously you have to start in certain places, but if you're not, you can just start anywhere. But see how easy it is, because now all the beads are raised up, so you can just see exactly where to put the next string. So the first row is always the hardest. Anyways, you just keep doing this until you get to the end, and then you tie it off, and you keep doing that until you're all the way done. Okay, and then once you get to the last row, you just tie it off, and you'd be all done. And you can make these as big or little as you want. They don't have to be any specific amount of rows. I mean, look, this one's only 3 up and down, rainbow colors. And you can also make them different with different beads, like smaller pony beads. That's how I made my ring, the one that goes on my thumb. All it is smaller pony beads. It's the very same concept. And that's how you peyote stitch.